All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's U.S. Quidditch Cup 11. This is game 5, 6, one of those. It's been a while. And on the color commentary here today, Amanda Dallas. She's a bigwig for USQ and also a regional champion with the Warriors.
Yeah, happy to be here.
No doubt about that. Everybody asking the question, why is it cold in Texas? I wish I knew.
Man, I've been asking that all day.
It's no answers. We just know it hailed and rained a little bit last night, and inexplicable. Our production crew is from Colorado, so everybody in the building except me is just like, oh, this is way warmer than where we were.
I have to say, I'm surprised it didn't affect any of the grass fields.
No doubt about that. It's the worst case scenario. We don't have fields that freeze over like they do up north. The water gets on them a little bit, and then of course Round Rock Athletic Complex is just, top notch stuff here. They probably drain. They probably have the squeegee system. And on top of that, because they've taken such good care of the grass, it drains off really well. To our left hand side, we have the Kansas Jayhawks. And to our right-hand side, they just yelled out, it is Ohio University. They've had a couple of key wins here this season as hold on a second, we got a little confusion on Brooms Up. Because the wind has been affecting all of the balls, you'll see the ARs have 1 foot on top of the bludger and the head ref with his foot on top of the quaffle, because what's been happening is on Brooms Up, the wind will take the ball either way. So the team that has the ball, the wind blowing in their direction, will get that ball. So all 3 balls have a legitimate possibility of blowing towards Kansas and the quaffle, just off pure luck. And I think that's why Ohio and Kansas flipped sides earlier in this game. Somebody at Ohio got a little wise to it, and they're like, all right, let's go to the side where the wind's blowing.
Yeah, so you'll see the referees step away right now.
And allow that contact to happen at mid-pitch there. It looks like Ohio's got first possession with no bludgers up front. They might have one, and a throw behind the hoops. That's not a great-looking angle, but nonetheless, they got a chance to come up with it. And the young man that you see with the quaffle right now, if he looks a little bit larger than your average Quidditch player, it's because he is. He used to play a little college football back in the day. And on top of that, he's a yell leader at Kansas. And as you can tell, he hits people really hard. So a lot of people in Quidditch like him. In particular, his teammates like him more than his opponents.
Let's hope we see some of those big hits this game.
No doubt about that. The McCullough Marauders in their game versus Bowling Green State University saw a lot of good hits from the Marauders. They got a lot of chaser pressure up front at the point position, as I believe that's Rachel England flying in there. And as if you can't tell on the camera, her leggings are all just a mashup of the UK flag. Rachel England, get it? No.
Rachel England, also a Team USA hopeful, came out to the Southwest Training Camp. She's out here fighting for a spot on the U.S. national team today. Scouts are definitely watching. A
lot of scouts in attendance. I saw some of the workers for the Round Rock Complex making a joke about how they should be a Quidditch scout, and I was like, there are actually Quidditch scouts in the building right now. TJ Goley, a young man that we talked about earlier in this broadcast when Lone Star played their match earlier, he's a potential member of Redeem Team 2018 at the secret position, and like you said, Rachel England trying to get that call.
You'll also see Rachel Held come in for Kansas University probably a little later in the game. A female keeper, very uncommon in the sport at this time.
But she's got the size and she's got the strength to be able to get stops in front of the hoops. That's the most important part.
Absolutely. A former basketball player. She's a great addition to Kansas, and we have the U.S. national team coach in the stands watching. I would say it's specifically for the Rachels.
Right, no doubt about that, and they are very, very talented young ladies, and like you said, Team USA trying to load up as many of the best players that they have on the in the country. As we got a Kansas beater down right now. She had a Ohio beater land on top of her, and she is going to roll over here in a second. It's definitely going to be some medical attention needed. She went down, and I think maybe her shoulder impacted first, and maybe her head followed right behind that. It was a routine tackle, but sometimes when the beater lands on top of you, you don't have control of your own body weight and pinpoint pressure. Your body weight plus somebody else's on one part of your body could force some kind of injury. Hopefully she's all right here in a second, but Kansas, one of the best college teams in the U.S. Quidditch this season, as they have been pretty impactful throughout this one, as the medical staff is coming onto the coming onto the field to pay attention, get some attention out here as U.S. Quidditch Cup 11 is underway. Seeing a couple of community games. This is our second college game that we've seen here today, Amanda. First of all, how'd your game go today?
We beat the Scroots. I would tell you the score, but I never know what the score is as a beater. All I know is, are we ahead by a lot?
After we
are
got
we
the
in
stage.
range?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we took on the Scroots. We actually saw a pretty sizable upset. The number 6 Baton Rouge in their pool beat the number 1 Nomads of the Northwest region. I was told it was a beater game. Bixler and all of his athleticism could not take on Sanders and co, who strategy is their game plan.
And the Nomads, a very physical team. A lot of people in the Southwest would definitely say that they're on par with the physicality that you see out of the Southwest team. But Bar QC, like you mentioned, the beater game, a big portion for them. In particular, Bar QC, some of the most experienced beaters here at this tournament.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of fact, if you listen to what they say, which I never really do until they finally hang it up, they say they're retiring after this tournament, so they're giving it all they got. Don't ever believe anybody says they're retiring from Quidditch. You don't get to pick when you're done. The game chooses when it's done with you. As we do have our beater hopping up here, and hopefully she's going to be all right. She kind of motioned towards that hip and then just wrapped her head there for a second, and looks like she's going to be all right, rocking off under her own power, so that's the important part there.
So we have Rachel England back in for her.
And she's going to get a run at a bludger. I think, even though she was hurt, the Kansas beater who went down beat the Ohio beater who landed on top of her. So good hustle from her. Good look on that one. Under duress and still making a good play. 2 bludgers are down. 1 is in possession of Kansas. Control lies with the Kansas Jayhawks. Now bringing it off the pitch. A switch up top. Let's see if they can get something out of this one. No, they're going to see the big man, number 50, rotate over, and a great throw on Kansas's part and forcing a play in transition. Looks like it's about to be 20-10, and as I say that,
great
a great
stop.
play. Yeah, great vision on the part of Ohio.
Oh, 99 does not see that beater.
And we saw that actually happen a couple of seconds ago. He made a run towards the hoops, didn't see the beater. Nice quick catch and release, but Kansas right in the way, able to come up with that stop. Once again, that's back-to-back defensive stops for the Kansas Jayhawks. And now a couple of rotations. Looks like they're going to change up the beater core just a little bit here and add a new chaser into the game, as Kansas is going to work on beating the point chaser, not before they get to work on the opposing beaters. Throw behind the hoops. And
that's going to go over the hard.
That's hard boundary.
Oh,
he dove and stopped it. Yes, he did.
Unfortunately, Ohio University chaser was there to accept that save.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the rough part. You put all that hustle and work into it and then end up getting it out there, and looks like Taylor's going to come out of the game here. Kansas is going to sub somebody else in. As he made that pretty good run. That looked pretty cool, but nothing coming of it for the offensive possession here. And then our score still at 10-10.
Kansas seems to be playing much deeper into their roster than I would have expected this early in the game.
Yeah, like you said, Kansas, one of the top-tier teams, really only pushed on many parts by Mizzou, another top-tier talented team, the Mizzou Tigers, with Becker and a flurry of other very talented chasers up front. But the Jayhawks getting some defensive stops. The offense is not coming easily to them here today. And we've seen that vast majority of this. As much as people like to talk about the Southwest hitting hard, I've seen a lot of the out-of-region teams come up and gang tackle just as good as any of the Southwest teams out here. Very impressive from them.
Absolutely. The sport in general has seen a lot more physicality in regions outside the Southwest. It seems like other regions are finally trying to step it up and compete with the hard hits in the Southwest.
And then combined with some of the skills that the Southwest typically doesn't utilize, like shots, long-range shots, you see some elite-level players starting to be put into the game, and their teams are getting wins. Now it looks like Kansas is trying to run some beater pressure here, especially trying to distract the beater up top to give their point chaser a chance to get a run at an opposing female keeper.
And you'll notice Rachel Held is now in the game, keeping for Kansas.
Her brother, Adam Hield's pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Very tall family.
I was going to say, pretty good is underrated.
Yeah.
It's an understatement for how good Adam is, and same thing for her as well, as you're about to see in just a couple of seconds. Both of them playing for the Stampede over the course of the summer. That ball is not going to roll towards the hard boundary, but it will be given to Kansas. As strangely enough, like we mentioned before, Amanda, the offense not coming easy to Kansas here. Oh, they're waiting for. Oh, they're going to say that Heald has to have possession of the quaffle to restart this offensive play. And I think that's what the call is going to be. Oh, there's something on the field. It's a mouth guard. That's interesting. I mean,
I've never seen a stoppage for a mouth guard.
We should know
on the
whose
field.
it is. Like, that's the funny part. Like, nobody's just like, oh, that's mine.
Yeah.
Like, we should know whose mouth guard that is. All right. Beaters up front. Nice coverage by the Beaters. Not only they got both of the Bludgers on the ground, but they actually had Ohio's beater tied up with a tackle, and still no goal out of this. Ohio coming to play here today. A nice shot, and it's no good forcing a shot from behind the hoops.
I'm fairly sure that chaser was beat before that quaffle left her hands.
But they see Ohio comes up with possession for it, and I think they're just going to play advantage and let them run this one. And they're going to send her back to hoops. Kansas has bludger control, 2 male beaters set, which is usually what you see teams do when they feel like their offense is stalled out a little bit. A nice throw.
Great
Hits 99 on the heel. Yeah. Uh-oh. They've realized that there's a no bludger situation, and here we go. Heald looking for a goal. Kansas getting mobbed in terms of their beater play. Heald looking for a score. She gets blocked. Ohio all over the place at the hoops.
Ohio's deep, much better than they've been all season.
We may have a situation. Yeah, that's going to be a turnover. Number 5 for Ohio made contact with a player that did not have possession of a ball. Wow, great impact on that hit, and a drop of the quaffle too. Ohio does not care what Kansas's record is coming into this game. Clearly,
absolutely not.
They did not hear that Kansas is the better team. Nobody told them that. Wow, an excellent shot.
Beautiful shot.
Gotta like that. And now we got a mass subline coming in here. See if this changes the makeup of this game. As 99 and 56 for Ohio are gonna come out of this one. And we see this all the time, Amanda. A lot of top-tier college teams. What makes them so elite, the depth that they're able to go to. And like you mentioned before, Kansas has got so many looks that they can give you.
Absolutely.
We're talking about the Heald up front. We got the double 2-male beater in different sets and everything like that. Nice score. Wait a minute. Are they going to call that good, or are they going to say it was beat before?
There seems to be discussion with the refs. No good.
No good on that one. So is that quaffle still live, or are they going to give it to Kansas? It looks like the quaffle is going to go to the Kansas Jayhawks, as Heald is going to bring it up. But we talked about Ohio in their second group of players out on the field. Are they going to drop off skill-wise? Now you'll see Heald come up. She's got a beater up front. Pass over on the left-hand side, and that looked like it was a beat on the back of that Chasers. And now a spin up.
This Kansas Chaser wants it.
Oh, my gosh. Ohio.
That's a back. You got to stop something there.
And it's difficult to say. He did spin around in a circle like 2 or 3 times before he made contact. So
the ref has decided to issue a yellow card for behind the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one where it's definitely going to be a ref discretion, because you could have said he spun. Could have said he didn't.
And then, of course, going down in front of the hoops does not help the situation. Rodriguez is going to sit here in the penalty box for a minute or until Kansas scores, if that is going to be the case. And then because of the situation, he's going to be allowed to score a quick dunk there, and I think that makes the score 30-10 in this game, 30-20. Bludger being thrown off the pitch. I think that was a spare one. Hopefully it was a spare one. Now on the attack, Ohio's going to get Kansas is going to get another tap beat on the far right-hand side, and now in transition, and we're starting to see Kansas open this one up here for a second, and now another score. Back-to-back buckets for the Kansas Jayhawks.
We have Ohio. The Ohio keeper seems very upset.
Yeah, he said, I'm done. He's gonna sub out here. You got to keep that mental fortitude. I know things aren't going your way right now, but with the effort that they were putting in before, they get back to that, they could be easily back into this game immediately.
Yeah, they started this game very strong, but we're starting to see them tear at the seams.
And now, with the beater formation being a side-to-side, they're basically splitting the field in half, and wow, an errant throw by Kansas. That was not a good decision on the part of the Jayhawks to make that throw on the bludger at somebody's head 15 yards away. Now on the attack again, 72 looking for another score. Is it going to be called good? Wait a minute. Head ref seems to be questioning it. There was no whistle blown, but the hands went up. So I've always been taught that that's no good.
Got a whistle for a goal.
Yeah. So we're just going to assume that that goal was good. We saw it go through the hoops, but we have no confirmation if he was beat or not. 72 has scored back-to-back goals. Kansas has scored 3 straight.
Sam Beeler, one of the female beaters that's in right now for Ohio University, actually a very talented utility player.
Nice.
One of the better chasers for Cleveland Rift, the MLQ team during the summer, but also one of the better beaters.
And versatility is the best ability.
Absolutely, and she's working hard, but her partners are not working with her.
That's and Amanda, we talk about what separates elite defenses from average defenses. That chemistry between beaters is going to be paramount to your success. You almost got to be inside each other's minds.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll see throughout this tournament, the best teams, their beaters, the chemistry is there. If you don't have chemistry, you're not going to make it very far in this tournament.
And like you said, with the scouts in the building for Team USA prospects out here, and beater pairs being a bigger emphasis going into this this new roster for Team USA, how hard is it when you're talking about assessing an individual player for Ohio when you just mentioned that her beater partner is not working well with her as Ohio's trying to get out of transition on offense, even though it's a 2-on-4 situation, not the best decision to go with. Kansas gets a deflection. They're going to run this one down. They might have a goal in transition coming around the edge. Beater on the way, throw up front right to another chaser. Good vision, and once again, good hustle by the Jayhawks.
It's going to be a goal. Ohio's got to step up their defense if they want to stop this. Where's the hard hits we saw earlier?
Yeah, exactly. And then on top of that, when you're getting back in transition, it's easy to watch the ball. We need to watch the people who are going to be the next pass, because once you cut the passes off, you know your beater can get that beat up front 2 inches away from an opposing chaser. So that was a little disappointing. You have to wonder how long until they get the original lineup that we saw out there. They stayed out there a good long stint. So, of course, you think they're going to have a good break. Oh, nice steal of the bludger up front to put all the balls on the ground, but Ohio turns it over.
Bludger. There it is. Yep.
Healed with the goal, and Kansas pulling away in this one. Yeah, it's going to trigger the subs for Ohio, whether they're rested or not. They're going to be forced back into this game.
We've got 99, and I believe he is another Team USA hopeful, actually. For Ohio University.
Amanda, we're all hopefuls for Team USA. Some of us went to the camps and put the film in and did the essays and stuff like that, but we all hope to grace the red, white, and blue one day. A nice shot, but healed an excellent catch. Yeah. Ohio, you see it now, Amanda. You see it as games progress on. As you get further and further out of control, people start doing things that are significantly risky or lower efficiency shots, like fadeaway shots towards the center hoop where the keeper is to make that catch.
And on taller keepers like Heald, you do not
Right.
You do not want to shoot on that middle hoop that she's in front of.
She literally just reached up and grabbed it. No jump whatsoever. No need to jump and get it. And like we said, Kansas has turned this game on its
We've got a no bludger situation for Ohio University, though.
And a throw over to an empty space and a score. It looks like it was deflected in, and Ohio will break the drought, scoring for the first time in over 3 minutes. See if that changes the game out here. And
I believe this qualify line 2 was the line that we started with.
Yes. Like I said, that last goal, especially in fast break, that's what triggered them. They all subbed in, they all hopped up, and they knew they had to get back into the game, whether they were well-rested or completely exhausted, which I'm sure they were, because they played hard that first line out here. And they actually might have a mismatch because Kansas has not subbed their starters back into this one. So this is an opportunity for Ohio to get back onto this one. Kansas is on their third line of their third keeper and their second group of chasers, I believe it is, by the depth chart. A shot that's missed and sailed out of bounds, and it looks like it's going to go to Ohio. They're going to get out in transition. Do they have a bludger? They're trying to rally it back. There's a relay going on near the hoops. Will it be in enough time, though? A shot taken towards the hoop, and they're going to hold it good. Wow, it's amazing what happens when we get the starters back in, Amanda. You get back-to-back goals from Ohio after giving up 4 straight. Good to see that from Ohio, like you said, that fight that we saw early on in this game as Kansas has slowed down significantly. Not only is it going to buy them time on the bench to get some starters some rest that they need, but on top of that, it'll slow down the Ohio offense that is clearly back in action up front. Beater up top, beater exchange done. Let's see if Kansas has a pass after the keeper play, and the tackle's on the way. If he doesn't make that pass, it did not make.
Great dodge by Matt Dwyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Dwyer, who is in his senior year at Kansas, been playing for a long time, knows how to be patient.
I got the hang. Oh, wow, a dive at Matt Dwyer is down. There's a dive from Ohio up front, and
Dwyer is not happy about that situation.
No doubt about that. That should be a yellow for sure, 100%. Matt Dwyer's going to sub out immediately. Glad that he's able to pop up and walk off. I'm glad that he's angry and not hurt. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
But I actually got a chance to hang out with Matt Dwyer from Lake Erie Elite. He was the color commentator on our last broadcast.
Such a wonderful person.
Very nice guy. And then on top of that, he's a big proponent of his teams as a regional coordinator. He's always in touch with everybody, whether they be his rival like Bowling Green State University. Kansas with a good hit up front to get a defensive stop. And Tawar's going to have it on the left-hand side. Let's see if he can come up with something. And for as big a threat as he is for Kansas, his Quidditch knowledge is something. His Quidditch IQ, working on getting it up there. Kansas has been training him up, but like we said, he's had, oh, wow, that was a killer shot.
That was an amazing goal.
No doubt about that. Somebody's been hitting the gym. But like we said, Tawar's been working on getting his Quidditch IQ up. He's relatively new to the sport, but Amanda, when you look at a guy like that, and pretty much every guy on the face of the planet, I mean, every Quidditch player on the face of the planet, the potential.
That's your dream recruit.
Right.
You're like, I just got to teach him how to play. He's already athletic. He's already big.
He's already got the conditioning, and he's already got the hitting people hard thing down. Because with the football background, that helps out a lot. Nice move from Kansas up front. Oh, a beautiful goal.
In.
Hit off the top of the middle hoop and fell in there. Kansas beating them up top, but Ohio.
This Ohio line is very deadly.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's disappointing. There's seems like a significant drop-off when they send a couple more players in, and that's the disappointing part. A shot from Kansas, they're going to call that one good.
And we mentioned the drop-offs, especially in a tournament where it's Swiss play, where depth matters.
They're having a conversation about this goal, it seems like. Nope. Not a conversation. It's just a one-way conversation. A lot of those happen in Quidditch, where a player is talking to a ref, and a ref is just kind of not hearing anything that you're saying. Snitch about to enter the field of play.
We've got an Ohio University beater literally just standing at the subline, doing nothing.
That's interesting. That's an interesting approach. Let's see if it works out for him, Cotton.
Sam Beeler's back in. Like I mentioned earlier, quality beater, so should it bolster the starting line even further?
And Ohio University getting a little frustrated with some of the ref calls up front, but it's not your job to call the game. It's your job to go out there and play. That's always a difficult mentality for a lot of players to stay in. Beat up front on the calf, now driving. Nice pass, but too much air underneath it. It allowed Ohio to rotate over, but it didn't stop the goal. Yeah. And I saw somebody got a hand on that forearm as it was coming down, so great focus by the Kansas Jayhawk to finish that one off on the far side of the hoop. Fast chaser behind for Ohio, undefended. I don't even think the keeper knows he's back there. He just realized it. Now he's got him teed up. Now.
Rachel England played that bludger very high. Fortunately, her partner saw it and was able to stop that quaffle.
Right. And a miss from Ohio will set Kansas up. They're going to get a line shift in here. Tawar's going to stay out there and see who else they send in. No return from Matt Dwyer. I see him standing up over on the Kansas bench there. And it looks like they're going to go two male beater for Kansas, if I have that right. No, they're just going to go with traditional setup here.
Kansas has also this season ran a fairly deadly double female beater set for snitch on pitch specifically.
Only about 3 teams in all of Quidditch can run a double female set.
Absolutely.
And UT has a much anticipated one when it comes to double female set.
Yeah, absolutely. If you see Pitch 1 or the 8th Man streaming a UT game, watch it, see if you can catch Hallie Pace in action. Amazing beater.
And that, like you said, the game is evolving. At about 5 years ago, the beater position, nowhere near where it is now. It was considered to be a position, and there might be high contact on a beater tackle up front on Rachel England. It looked like one of the Ohio beaters got her around the neck, but yeah, they're going to send Heald back.
Heald just got beat as the coach on the field.
Yeah, that's what I thought just happened. I was like, Field doesn't have a broom.
Field is allowed to go on the field as the speaking coach.
Right.
Apparently the Ohio University beater thought she was a threat.
He's like, just in case. Just in case. You can never, there's no tax on beating people too much. And that looks like a penalty there. There was a beater shoved over the scrum here behind the hoops between Kansas and Ohio. Kansas Jayhawks, of course, wearing those blue jerseys, very similar to what you see in any other sport that they wear. And then Ohio with the brick wall kind of green mixed in there. And Amanda Dallas and I have the same reaction, knowing what Ohio is. They're the Wildcats, if I'm correct, in terms of mascot.
Yeah, I'm not privy to where the brick wall comes in.
Maybe it's a defensive mentality.
Maybe it's a Harry Potter reference.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I could not really tell you that because I'm not great at Harry Potter references.
The pathway to Diagon Alley is a false brick wall. It's a pathway, you tap it with your wand and it opens up.
We'll find out, and Ashton here will tell you later.
It definitely would be a story to tell because I feel like somebody's going to give me something. It's either going to be really awesome or really obscure. Nice beat by number 45 for Kansas behind the pitch over there. And
the Ohio University beat are very upset about that beat.
Is he trying to say that he didn't have control of a bludger at the time and he had immunity? But I don't think that was the case. He didn't have his fist up.
His partner also had a ball.
Right, exactly.
We had a potential grab.
Fell over, and as he was falling, the back half side of the fall, past the hip of the snitch, was able to string his hand down the backside of the snitch and pull that one. Haven't seen a snitch today on pitch one. Have not seen a snitch catch called off yet. So
I have not seen one called off on pitch 5 either yet.
88 teams, 88 elite level seekers, and here we go. The streak continues, ladies and gentlemen. The Kansas Jayhawks get away with a big win versus Ohio after a rough start. The Ohio University. Yeah, Ohio University not happy with a lot of the officiating calls here. The final score, 160-30. As Kansas, Amanda, we'll talk about the first half of that game. Really a lot of back and forth. You like the defensive effort from Ohio. You see the potential to go out there and get wins in this tournament. And then the Kansas Jayhawks do what they've done all season. They've just got too much. They are overwhelming.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's a sort of double-edged sword. Ohio Glory needs to keep their starters in longer, but in a Swiss tournament, you can't keep your starters in longer.
It's just how it is. There's more games to be played, and sometimes you got to make those tough decisions. Very similar to other high-level sports. You talk about college basketball. Once a game gets out of hand, they call it pulling the plug because you got to get the starters out of there. You got to get that rest because you got another game. Everybody's got 4 games today, and then guess what? By this time, I'm sorry. What time is it right now? yeah. By this time tomorrow, half these teams will be eliminated. There'll be half these teams completely eliminated from this tournament. You got to be prepared for when those do-or-die games come up, and right now this is not one of those. So
True.
Ohio goes out. That's 160-30, the final score. The Kansas Jayhawks get another win. I think we're done here, Amanda. Are we?
Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you, Amanda Dallas, for joining us here. And appreciate it. Good luck in the rest of the tournament. I know the community bracket is brutal. We've watched a couple of those big games here earlier today. The LA Gambits almost got one against the Bosnian Bear Sharks. It came down to a snitch pull.
Yeah.
And like you said, a Bar QC upset over the
No 6 seed over the 1 in that pool.
The madness is upon us, and it's not even March. Thank you for joining us here, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, 160-30 Kansas over Ohio University.